race cars right here. Yeah, what do you?
Now we got some gas. Let's drop it. So, as these two cars couldn't be further apart, they do have one thing in common, and that is they're both mine, and they're both very fun cars. Now, the one we're going to focus on today is this. You haven't seen this car except for once on the channel, and that was when it was failing at having a successful dyno day at Redemption Racing. But I figured I would give you a walk around and show you a little bit more about my FC3S. So, without further ado, here she is. A true Turbo 2 chassis with a JDM Series 5 13B Turbo 2-rotor Wankel motor. It's a mouthful, and it's just a completely different thing than any of these other cars sitting here at the garage. It's a rotary motor, so it means it has two of these in it, and that can cause problems. This car has sat now for almost 2 years without any track duty or really street driven, because the ECU just went to hell and some sensors, and I'm still trying to figure it out. But let's get into it. It's gonna be a quick video I'm doing just to show you around my project car, and that way, as I progress getting this car back on the road, street ready and track ready to do track work and go out and slay some tires, because I need to kill some tires. I need to do it. That way you will know the car, and we'll walk through some of the modifications and some of the problems, some of its highlights, and it's just going to be a quick introduction to my RX-7. We'll take it down the road, we'll see how she drives. She ain't been started in a while, so let's get to it. Alright, so what we have here is, like I said, a 91 Mazda RX-7. This is the second gen of the RX-7s, and it's actually a very, very budget build, as you will see in a minute, but she has done good things. This car has went through about 3 seasons since I've had her of drifting, drift events once or twice a month, and has done great. Now, outside, just like I said, everything's budget. These wheels are from a Crown Vic. These are Crown Vic meshes. A lot of you import guys will know about these wheels, and I've ended up with 3 sets of these, which took years and quite a bit of money to get, because these are, you know, Italian wheels, and these are awesome wheels. So yes, she's very dirty. I'm not hiding anything from y'all. She's set for a long time, so she's very dirty. But it is what it is. Inside, you have some off-brand racing seats that work. They do their job. And just, yeah, the original cluster with the JDM imported motor, which I like, which is now showing 107,000 kilometers, so pretty low mileage engine, but we'll get to the engine in a minute. It's actually been rebuilt not long ago. Some essential gauges, water temp, boost pressure, and then AEM Wago. You have your fan switch, pretty powerful E-fan from a 97 Windstar. And of course, hydro from ASD, works perfect. And yeah, I mean, just some Sparco harnesses, and that's really about it. Has a bolt-in cage. It's as simple as it can be. I mean, it's lightweight, decent power. Let's pop the hood and look at the engine real quick. So there she is. What you actually have here is a imported from Japan Series 5 Turbo 2 motor. So it's the correct motor that would have came in this car. Probably the original motor just went bad. Somebody got a JDM motor because they are usually lower mileage. Some modifications, pretty simple. There's a front mount from Rotary Works. You have a 60 trim Turbonetics turbo and a Freddy blow-off valve, strut brace. You have TN coilovers all around, drift spec coilovers, and throttle. I've done a throttle body modification and a lot of botched up wiring. I need somebody who can wire help me out. Yeah, so, and like I said, a repurposed E-fan from a 97 Ford Windstar. But this thing is very powerful and common modification in the rotary world. It does good. This Koyo rad, nice and cool. As far as modifications go, most of it's in the engine. This engine has been large street port. All the seals replaced with RA Super Seals and Atkins rotary cried side seals, and only about 2,000 miles on the rebuild, a couple of races. So it's all very simple, very, very budget, as you can see. As far as suspension goes, you have TN drift spec coilovers and an angle kit from Drift Knuckles, which is actually a very cost-effective and good angle kit. So the Drift Knuckles kit, all they do is they cut your spindle and relocate where your tie rod connects to your spindle. So that's about stock. That's what you'd be looking at stock. And that's not. This thing does completely change this car with the angle. But let's start it up. Let's run it down the road real quick. We'll talk a little bit more about it, and we'll see how she goes. I can't handle it anymore, so I'm gonna wash this thing off just real quick. Let me go see see if I can find a fun road to play on. There. I couldn't handle that no more. Looked like it was found at the bottom of the sea. The 80s. Why not love it? Sorry about the light changing around and whatever through this video, guys. I decided I had to wash it. It was horrible. So, but yeah, sitting in here, you just have 2 bucket seats. They hold you in place. I got them for 20 bucks off a friend. ASD Hydro. That really works well. And just very simple. Suspension. Let's see, suspension, angle kit, hydro e-brake, a little bit of power afterwards, but other than that, I mean, these engines came stock with 205 horsepower. Right now it's 245 at the wheel, so that's about 300 at the crank, which is good for 8 pounds of boost on this 13BT. So yeah, just a really simple recipe for sliding and having fun. So we're gonna go out and try to do that. Alright, so engine's warmed up. I love the sound of a rotary. I love that, I don't know, it's hard to explain, but the brat, as everybody knows it. Let's take it down the road real quick. All right, so here we are, driving the RX-7. Corners are interesting in this car. With the angle kit, the steering is actually very precise still. Drift Knuckles sells the angle kit for about $500. You send in your spindles, they send you some tie rod spacers, and you cut your lower control arm to add about 6 degrees caster. But it takes literally no movement to go through these roads and these corners. Transmission has seen better days. All these drift starts and pretty much drag racing to the first to the initiation has taken its toll on my clutch and my transmission. And yeah, I'm still having the same problem. The AFRs, if this gauge is correct, is just, they're not consistent at all. But as far as driving wise, it feels better. So I've only got it on 8 pounds of boost right now. This turbo likes 15 or above, so it's definitely not stressed, so I can still test it. And I've caught a moped guy. Let's slip the dogs of war. It still puts a smile on my face. This car is just fun. It's a toy. It's fun. Now watch this turning circle. That angle is pretty impressive. It can definitely help you in some tight spaces. And that sound is just so provocative. It just incites, I don't know, something tribal or primal in you. I don't know. A rotary just can make you insane in a lot of ways. But to drive, this is a very fun car. The ride's not good. It probably gets 10 miles to the gallon, and it's a 1.3 liter, but still, when you do this, and find out where all that power is up in the higher range. Oh yeah. God, I gotta get this thing back on the street and back on the track. This car's never happier than being on the track. Oh yes. So you've got this hydro e-brake up here. If anybody doesn't know what it does, well, this controls your rear brakes hydraulically. It's not like a cable operated e-brake. If you pull this, you lock the rear wheels up instantly. It helps with initiations and adjusting your drift. I wish I could do some drifting right now for you guys, but it's just still not running good enough. So, but yeah, just a short drive. So summary is, this car is very visceral. It's very provocative. It's hardcore as it can be. It's very simple, built to a budget, and has the problems to show it. But it's right here. There's something about this car that just sinks its teeth into you and just won't let go. So I love it. Guys, thanks for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, comment, and stick around and watch and see if I can get this car back on the track, because I'm gonna do it. This is my son's race car, and I will get this car back on track and back terrorizing the streets. So thanks for watching Car Intent, guys. I'm out of here.